What up, everyone? NanMan here, and we're back with some more modern action over at NanMan's Nerd Corner. We've got Neoform, Neo Brand versus Mono Blue Tron. Both of these decks we featured on the channel previously. They haven't been featured since the fall, though, like October, November time period. So I figured it'd be good to be able to showcase these decks on the channel again. But we've got basically a combo-based deck with Neoform, Neo Brand.
Shit, that's not...
I think I don't remember if I call it Neo Brand or Neoform on the channel.
Where's the other one?
I don't know. It's like the idea behind it is you're going to cheat out an Allosaurus Rider, and then you're going to set yourself up with using a Neoform or an Eldritch Evolution to turn that Allosaurus Rider into, you know, a Grizzle Brand, an Atraxa, something like that here. But we see a cycling of the tree folk here. So this is kind of like are you on a living end package? Like, there's not enough information yet. So we see our Kozilek's command going to exile that and scry and draw. Basically, like, okay, you're cycling stuff. You haven't revealed too much information about what I'm up against yet, and it's very possible I could be playing against a living end player. So, but this should help give you some indication about what you're on. Planar Genesis is basically played in only one deck, and that is specifically the Neoform decks, or Neo Brand, or however you want to refer to them as. But yeah, we do see kind of the setup here. Again, just sort of passing turn. Again, like the Neo Brand deck is all about just sort of gathering resources and setting yourself up for kind of an explosive turn. Where the Mono Blue Tron deck is very much like, I'm going to react to what you're doing. I'm going to have access to subtleties. I'm going to have access to Force of Vigors, or not Force of Vigor, Force of Negations. And you're going to be able to like delay. All right, here's an Ugin. Let's take over the game, right? We'll see if that is going to be good. Yeah, it's like our Tron players just like, go ahead. That is also should be terrifying if you're playing against, going, well, you're just got a whole grip full. And I could hope that it's just you're sitting there with a bunch of Tron or a bunch of like Ugins and stuff, but that doesn't really seem to be the case at the moment. Oh, Double Island now available. So you could hard cast, a subtlety. You could hard cast a force. We've seen it before where it's been, how impactful subtlety can be against the Allosaurus Rider deck. Because here we go. Allosaurus Rider, Neoform going to get used. Additional cost, you have to sacrifice the Allosaurus Rider. But we have a response of Veil of Summer, and it's a wizard battle. All of these cards that have kind of been saved up here. So that'll be basically, let's get rid of everything that you were trying to do there. Allosaurus Rider, of course, in the graveyard off of all that, and we had to pitch quite a few cards to be able to do that.
That's all I had.
So
I couldn't do shit.
it says, well, that's it. That's what I got. But we do see our pay 3 here, Sire, and that's going to get countered. Good consign there, because that Sire will take over the game. We see it all the time when you're playing, like featuring Tron on the channel, how powerful it is. Ugin, another consign. Okay, this is pretty good. We're just like, now it's like this kind of back and forth tennis match taking place here of, can I resolve this? Nope. All right, can I resolve this? Nope. And both players are sort of trying to do this. Stock up going to get utilized here. Saw the new stock up art that they are going to be releasing with the new Strixhaven set. If you haven't seen the spoilers yet, big wave of spoilers came across over the weekend, over the week. I don't know, whenever it came, it was like, here's some of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cards, here's some of the Strixhavens cards, but like the Strixhavens, what do they call them? Archaic cards? I don't know. The special cards that have the both Japanese and English, 2 different art versions of the card. Very cool. But we see Kozilek's command. What are we doing? Making dudes? Yeah. Making dudes, scrying, drawing cards. But I don't know. Some of the, like, lore when revealed is still very popular. It's still really cool to be able to see. We got March is when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle hits. So it's like they have to, like, basically, with the 7 sets released this year, they have to flood the market, which I hate seeing because it's like I want to spend the time on a plane or in a set and interact with it. Like I've felt this way with Edge of Eternities and how quickly they go, hey, here's Spider-Man, right? It feels the same way of like, all right, we're at Laurelwood. Oh my God, here's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? It's just like they're flooding us with stuff, which is, you know, it all makes sense why, but it's still frustrating for someone that like enjoys spending time in a play. Hey, Evercool, let's replicate it. You may not take my turn. You may not. We're gonna counter it. Oh my gosh, how many of those do we got? All right, can our Neo? Oh, we're going. Okay, we're gonna just cast it and pass here. What is he, a 4/4? Yeah, I got 3 lands. There's a 4/4. We're gonna beat you with a 4/4. Oh man! All right, we got a. Okay, the count here. So we're like, all right, we're getting close to what we need. Expedition map. So close to what we need in the sense if we got that potent of creativity, potential of creativity, whatever that thing. The Bloomborough card. All right, and we'll go get ourselves. Tron is now going to be assembled here. It was not up to that point, so that was another thing to note. All right, we got a lot of islands. 7 mana. 8. 9, 10. Just kidding. We're going to put this in our hand and cast it. Oh, Pact of Negation. Do we have a... Oh, no, we didn't have another consign. We played so many consigns there. I was like, do we save ourselves? No, we don't get to save ourselves here. All right, going into game number 2 here. So now the Mono Blue Tron player knows what they're up against. They're not going to be... you know, thinking it's living end or stuff like that. They could sideboard specific cards that they might need or want here. I mean, subtlety is going to be huge, and mulliganing and looking for a subtlety, a force of negation, those are what you're going to need to battle against this deck here. All right, the ways to interact with your creatures that your opponent are playing, the way to interact with the spells that are going to try to cause them to sacrifice it. The thing about the Neoform deck, the Neo brand deck, is it is a glass cannon deck. Like tried and true. Hey, I could crack under pressure, but I do have that explosive power to just go, all right, Allosaurus Rider, here's a Grizzlebrand, draw 7, cool, set myself up, right? Well, you know, or here is a Allosaurus Rider, Eldritch Evolution, turn this into Galta, put the Xenagos out, and then just like one-shot you, right? And it does have that OTK potential, and there's not that many decks in Modern that are OTK decks, but the Neo brand deck is one of those that does have that sort of like, yep, here we go, explosive time. All right, what do we got? Putting some cards on the bottom. Looks like Mold to 5. Land pass going out here. Yep, it's going to be a lot of the land go to early start the match, but that's okay. I don't see... I mean, an Ugin. I was like, I don't see a subtlety in hand in that flickering there. Maybe there was, but... Surveil land, put another land on top. We'll take that. Looks like we've got also our tree folk there that we could be able to get rid of if we needed to pitch it to Allosaurus Rider or cycle for another forest there. Oh, Allosaurus Rider time. Getting rid of the Planar Genesis here and our big old land creature that I can never Neoform. Turn 2, Neoform. Sack it with the +1 converted mana cost. Put an additional +1 counter on it. Shuffle your library here. So, Galta time. Hey, we're gonna bring an Ent out. That's okay. It's not a Xenagos just win here. It's here's a giant Ent that we're gonna beat you with. That little face down token. I keep talking about it. I need to put my infinite tokens just at the table and be like, all right, draw yourself a food token in between when it's not your turn. Land go. All right, bring the beats. Huge chunk. Drop you to 3. Pass. I did not expect to have game 2 go to the way of the end beatdowns.
We're interrupting our gameplay to let you know about our new affiliate with Nerd Gear. nerdgear.gg/nanman will take you directly to the website, and as you can see, they've got a bunch of awesome gaming accessories from playmats, life counters with the life tracks, playmat holders, and more. So make sure you do some browsing on the site, find some goodies, and then use the code NGNanman for 5% off your entire order. But let's get back to our gameplay.
One of the other cool things that the shop does have is +1/+1 counters. I know I talked to some players about thinking that they wanted those, especially if you're playing other games like, you know, some of my buddies that are big into the One Piece TCG were talking about the benefits of the +1 counters, like, oh, +1000, plus, you know, like so you can track things a little bit easier in that game. So definitely consider taking a look at those +1 counters. But Talisman coming out. Oh, we got new Talisman revealed too, and a new Soul Ring with the Strixhaven. They had that special like book bundle thing or something like that. I have to look into it a little bit more. But yeah, there's some like amazing art coming out with Strixhaven. Like we'll have to look for and post up that on the channel to see what people say. We've also been posting a lot more on our other social media stuff. So if you're, you know, into the other side of social media stuff, we do have our Instagrams and, you know, Blue Skies and Tiki-Takis and all of those like short form content has been mainly being posted up there daily now. We're up to this, like, tried to do a 30-day challenge so far, and we've been doing pretty well of keeping up with, you know, posting at least one short form content a day over to like those sites. So, you know, check those out if you're into the short form side of things. But of course, all our long forms over here, and we will be sprinkling in some short form content on YouTube as well for y'all to be able to enjoy. But we'll have to probably do another round of pack one pick ones with our vintage cube again, or you know, we have a secondary cube that is a multiplayer cube. I keep wanting, there's like 2 more cubes in mind that I want to be able to build. You know, I've talked about a Bloomburrow cube, but I just never could latch myself on of like the idea of like, okay, is this going to be the way that I want it to be? Is it just going to be too messy? Because I've sort of tried that with like Kindred type cubes before, or like even with the Ravnica cube we've got, like it just felt a little bit muddy, and I don't want the Bloomburrow cube to feel muddy, which it currently is in just like the pre-stages of it. But the other, you know, a dedicated commander cube would be cool. So yeah, a lot of options for cubes that I want to keep working on. You know, we'll see. I am a Marvel fan, so maybe we'll do a Marvel commander cube. Maybe that'll be the line to go for. You know, a 2-person cube, 2 Berts are a good idea too. So I don't know. There's lots of stuff we want to try to do. Planar Genesis is going to come. Let's get back into this match here, because we have kind of had a lot of setup for both the players here. So Planar Genesis going to reveal those top 4. Let's see. Do we want to land or we need something else? That's the benefit of the Planar Genesis in the deck, is you are able to pick, do I need the ramp or do I need a green card to pitch to Allosaurus Rider here? All right. There is a force in hand. No real, oh, and a subtlety. So yeah, this is like a really good protective hand for our Tron player here. All right, pass and turn after that. I like the Ugin in the deck too. I like seeing these like big top end Eldrazi for some of these, you know, Tron-based decks, because, you know, there's times where you're like, I got all the mana and nothing to do with it. Maybe they'll start running that new math card, that math petition card or whatever. I've started posting that around, and people's responses were like, I was not prepared to do all the math that I need to do with this. All right, let's see. Tron will be online next turn. All right, we've got Tower. We've got a power plant. We've got an expedition map to gather up and get. I mean, there's a mine in hand, though, so we could get another tower. But Planar Genesis here. We could even just get, like, Otawara and do some bouncing stuff. Like, that is a perfectly reasonable line to go for with the expedition map. All right, do we go for it here? Looks like we're going to try. Pitching, oh, that's wild. We're going to pitch a Neoform and an Eldritch Evolution here. And we're going to see, will we get some fight over this? So these are automatically exiled as part of the cast. There's the subtlety, pitching a sink into stupor. Do we have... So now this is not a counter effect. All right, we're going to target it, though. But spells you control can't be countered this way. You and permanents you control gain hexproof from blue and black till the end of the current. So we get to draw a card. Spells you control can't be... Let's see. Yeah, so we draw a card. Maybe we're looking for a counter spell, a way to stop this. Do we have a way to stop this? Consign? We could consign the trigger. Yeah, that's fine. We'll put that on top. Okay. I guess, yeah, going for the veil there made sense. It set us up for a pretty good turn. Looks like we'll pass after that. Yeah, 4 cards still in hand. 1 is a Pact of Negation. And we couldn't really fire that off maybe because we weren't guaranteed to win that turn. I guess we could have got a Grizzlebrand, drew 7, and tried to fight depending on what card we had. Like if we had another Neoform. Now if we had Eldritch Evolution, it makes total sense. Alright, we're going for the basic here. I don't know. I like the idea of going for the Otawara. But this gets us access to double blue now. At Otawara, we would just like play and use it as a spell, essentially. All right, we're running out of gas, though. Only 1 force negation. Oh, an Emrakul, though. Artifact, creature, sorcery, instant, kindred. So, only 8 mana? Right? It only costs 8? Instant, kindred, sorcery, creature, artifact. Yeah, 5 less. Emrakul. Costs 1 less for each card type. On it, gain control of target opponent. Yada, yada, yada. Flying, trample, protection from instances. Hey, a force of negation. Let's just counter it. Oh my gosh, there was no consigns. Oh. I just like, did they have the Neoform? Can we see? Oh, we couldn't see. Yeah, okay. So that was oh my gosh. Yeah, I wonder if there was a line that we could have gotten like a Grizzlebrand and drew 7 there. I mean, maybe not. Like it's very possible that we didn't have another Neobrand in hand. We just had a you know, Eldritch Evolution. That's why we pitched both an Eldritch and a Neobrand. So you were like in this weird spot of like, okay, maybe, I don't know. It's like, I guess there is those possibility of trying to just do it, but setting yourself up for the next turn to try to go, and then it's like, well, I can't beat the Emrakul, right? Emrakul resolves. You'll take control of my turn. You'll basically waste all my spells that I need to do to use the Allosaurus Rider, so it's not going to work. Test of Talents. I love that spell. Oh, great counter spell there. Strips away and gets rid of all other copies from the deck. So love it, love it, love it. Yeah, a little fast-paced, little bit of fun action for you here today. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. We've got more gameplay, of course, every Monday and Thursday for you. But that's going to do it for this one. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching, y'all, and I'll see you all next game.